Today, we're gonna do a super simple drawing of Goofy's girlfriend, Clarabelle the cow. What do you think about that, Mr. Ice Cream?
I am bursting with caramel about this drawing. I'm not sure if Goofy and Clarabelle are officially boyfriend and girlfriend, but I know they like each other, and they maybe even like each other, so I'm happy for them.
Yeah, that's great. I agree.
Before we get started, the only materials you need for this project are paper, a pencil, a black marker, and something to color with.
So let's get started.
I am ready to draw.
So we're gonna start our drawing like we always do by just drawing the overall shape to make sure our character fits on the page.
This step may seem kind of boring, but it's actually really important, as we've seen in some of our other episodes.
So we're gonna do a little diagonal line like this at the top for the tops of her bow. Another little line like that will go to her ear. And it kind of comes back in and out to her shoulder. And then it's just like a straight diagonal line down to where her hands are. And then back up. And then a little diagonal this way. Kind of a little triangle shape. Another little kind of triangle shape for a shoe. And we can just do another little triangle here. Another little triangle there. Curve that back up. Something like this. Might look like a weird shape, but trust me, all of our details are gonna fit in here.
After all we've been through, I trust you.
So now let's start carving out the details. So we're gonna start with the bow on top of her head, which is gonna be, and start right at this top edge here. And just do a little curve like this. Another curve down that way. And then overlap that. Put a little circle in the middle. And then going out to this point here, we'll do another kind of half oval shape. And then overlap that. And then right from the middle of the knot on her bow, we'll do kind of a little M shape here. Continue that one down. And then do another little bump right here. And then we can put our little horns in there. And then a little bump for the back of her head. And her ear just kind of comes out like this. And curves back in. Another little curve for her cheek. And then that's gonna go down to her chin. So now that we've got this, let's see, we can go curve back up around like that. And then from where this line is, I kind of overlap that a little bit and then connect to this line. And then where this first eyebrow shape is, I'm gonna do one big eye right here, and then this one's a little bit smaller, and then we're gonna put her pupils right in here, two little ovals like that, and then we can add a little highlight to them, just a little circle inside.
Those highlights are tricky, but they definitely make the character feel alive.
Now we're gonna color this in later. Alright. And then I didn't connect this because she's got just another little piece of her horn that kind of goes behind the bow there. And then from her eyes here, we're gonna do 1, 2, 3 eyelashes on that eye. Three eyelashes on that eye. And now we can draw another M shape right here for her nose, which will slightly overlap this line. So this will be a big curve, and then the next one's a little smaller. And that's gonna curve all the way back around and up to here. Put a little cap on that for the corner of her mouth. And now, put a little line here. And then we're gonna put 2 oval shapes in here for her nose. Then we can draw a little curve inside that. And then just to the side of her nose here, I'm gonna draw a little U shape that doesn't quite touch, and then a straight line back to the edge of her mouth. And then we're gonna put her tongue with just 2 curving lines like that. And then her shoulder kind of comes in front of the other side of her mouth. So we're just gonna do a little line like this, and then we can do her bottom lip. Add a little line like that. And then down here, we're just gonna do a little curve that comes right back up to the edge of her cheek here.
Wow, this already looks like Clarabelle the Cow.
All right. So now we're gonna do a little skinny neck right here. And then another U shape right around that. Then we're gonna draw her collar. Just kind of like a splat shape.
It does look
And
like a
then we're
splat.
gonna do her shoulder over here, which kind of comes following that same initial shape that we did. Curves out a little bit. I'm gonna do a little half circle there. And then right from the middle of here, curve down and around like that. And then from this one, come down this way, another half circle. And then connect that back up to her shoulder there. And then we're gonna do 2 kind of curving lines like that for her arms. Now remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. And this is a little bit tough because her arms, her fingers are overlapping. So we're gonna put a little circle on the end of this. Another circle for the cuff of her glove. And then we're gonna do a little line for the palm of her hand. And then a loop for her finger there. And then with her fingers interlocking, it's kind of like we do a loop this way. And a loop that way. And another loop back that way. Kind of like spaghetti.
Spaghetti. Drawing is so fun.
And then we're gonna do another line for the cuff on her other glove. And a little line for other palm. And then we just connect this back like that. And then where we drew these half circles here, we can continue that around and connect to her arm there, or connect to the cuff so that it looks like her arms are coming out of the cuff. Now we're gonna do the bottom of her shirt, which will be just kind of like a little shape like that. And then a little curve this way. Another curve that way. A little curve like that for her knee. Excuse me. And then we're just gonna do the ruffle on the bottom of her dress here. So a little straight line that way. One bump. Two bumps. And then start in the middle of this bump. And go down and up and around. Like that.
That was a fun line.
Bring this straight back over. One little curve there. This is gonna come over too like that. And then we just gotta draw her shoes at the bottom here. So two little lines for ankle there. And then if we follow this line, two little lines for ankle there. And then slightly overlapping that. Just gonna do an oval shape this way. And then another oval that kind of gets pointy on the end. And then put two little lines for the back there. And same thing on this side. Oval like that. Have it come to a point at the end. And two little lines on the back there. And then we'll put a little high heel right there. And that's it.
All right.
So now let's go back and darken this in with some Sharpies and keep the party going. All right, so there's our finished black and white outline of Clarabelle.
Looks great so far. I can't wait to see what this looks like after we add some color.
So now we're just gonna use our eraser to erase some of those lines that we did in pencil from that initial shape that we did in the beginning. Now it's time to color this in. So let's go. All right, so there's our finished drawing of Clarabelle the cow. What do you think, Mr. Ice Cream?
This looks like $1 million. Goofy is gonna be so happy when he sees this.
Yeah, well, I hope so. I'll give it to Goofy soon. Did you have fun today?
Did I have fun? Does Santa Claus have a red nose? Of course I had fun.
All right, well, that's the most important thing. So I hope the rest of you had fun, and we'll see you at the next art party.
Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to save your seat at the next art party.